Yes, call to order.
Okay.
So I think our agenda tonight is reserve fund transfers and what else do we have?
You have a dues invoice for the Association of Town Finance Committees, and you have some end of year paperwork. You just have to sign off that you have no outstanding bills.
Okay. So that's just a voice. That's just a voice statement and a vote by the committee.
Yes, and at the end of the meeting, I think June would appreciate, she'd like your minutes approved at the very end of your meeting. So after you take your votes, if you could do that, that will give her the final notice of your votes. So
Approve these minutes?
Yes.
Well, then I better start typing them on the computer right now.
You can keep them in note form. It's okay, Michael.
Yeah, I will. Let me just exit full screen. And oh, come on. All right, there. Okay. I can now pull up. Somewhere I ought to be able to find Word.
So the other question, Margaret, is, or Mike too, do we have minutes from town meeting night, or we had a meeting that we approved. Oh, that was our question about we have a meeting to approve minutes. Those minutes, it was like a never-ending cycle. Do we have other minutes we have to approve from prior meetings?
There should be minutes
we approved
from the town meeting, but I think Janet has them, but she couldn't find them, and she's not here right now anyway.
That was the one that went around and saying that they couldn't be found.
Yeah, nobody seemed to know where they were.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure
we've approved the important.
Pretty sure Janet took the minutes.
Janet was taking minutes. I usually take notes in meetings. I didn't take notes that night, so I can't help with this at all. But she had a notebook out. She was writing, so she's got them. She was writing on paper, sitting at the table next to me. So.
So she was saying that she couldn't find that, and she was asking if anyone else had notes.
Okay, it was probably on a certain computer, but she didn't have access to it right then.
Okay. June, do we have to have those minutes for tonight?
I don't.
Or is it? It's just the votes. It's the votes on the stuff you're asking us to act on, right?
Yeah, just pretty much the transfers and things like that I need so I can actually post them.
Right.
So, and I don't think you guys voted on anything town meeting night, I don't think.
I don't think we did.
We voted on lots of things along with everybody else.
If you did any recommendations that night before town meeting, they would be reflected in the proceedings anyway. The town meeting proceedings.
Yeah, I don't think it was specific recommendations. I think what we did was we voted to approve minutes from the prior meetings, and I think that was our. I think that's pretty much what we did.
Okay.
So anyway, we have a reserve fund transfer here for $117.37. Can we cover it, June? Do we have enough?
You might just have enough to cover this one and the next one.
Woo! I was a little scared.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is recently a larger than expected overage was paid for printing services. Additional printing was done for town meeting prep and other COVID related issues. So this is data systems. So that falls under data systems?
Yes. It's our copiers and printers that are under that. So it would be the printing related stuff.
Got it. Okay. So do I have a motion to approve this?
So moved.
I'll second.
Do we need to discuss anything about this giant sum of money?
You just can't go so fast that I can't get it typed up in time. June,
yes.
This is a I discussed and voted to approve reserve fund transfer. What are we transferring to and where are we transferring from?
You are taking it from the reserve fund and you are
Okay, reserve fund.
and we are requesting that you transfer it to data systems expense line item.
Data systems?
Yes.
Yeah.
Data systems expense line item, and the amount is
100 sorry, go ahead, Jim.
117.37.
okay. I got that item. Now, are we going to vote for that?
Yeah, I don't, do we need any further discussion?
I'm good with it. I'm good with it, Stan.
All right, so given that, roll call vote, Stan, aye.
Mary, I.
Mike, aye.
So we do have a
Okay.
quorum with 3 of us, so that
Yeah.
that passes
Yep.
3-0.
Okay.
The next one is the one we need to spend a lot of time on. So this is for assessor's wages, 57 cents, no explanation. Oh, final payout for the year, okay. I'm surprised you had enough lines to fit the whole explanation on there, Jim, but good job.
Well, you know, I was going to be a little bit more elaborate, but I figured that you guys were going to be really busy tonight. So
Yeah,
I didn't want to bother you to boggle
we,
down with all
we,
the
we
details.
appreciate your brevity, thank you, yes.
You're welcome.
You're a good egg.
So I'm sorry, this is from reserve fund to where?
Assessor's part-time
Part-time
wages
Assessor's part-time wages. Okay.
in the amount of 57 cents.
Okay, since I've already written it, can I move it, please?
Yes, you may.
Come on, Papa.
And
Mary, would you like to second that?
I would love to second it. And while I'm seconding it, Mike, I just forwarded you an email where I've got a template of minutes from June 3. So if you want to plug and play,
No,
Mike.
I'm using the June 17th template
Oh,
right
you're
now.
all- you're all
All I'm
set.
doing is putting in different stuff.
Okay.
Thank you, we have the same idea.
All right.
And using dictatorial powers, I'm going to say that we don't have any discussion on this 57 cents and move right to a vote. Roll call,
Sounds good.
Stan, aye.
Mary, I.
Mike, aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Let's take care of the rest of this here.
Thank you very much, guys.
You're
Much
welcome, Jim.
appreciated.
Okay,
Okay, next we'll want to take care of your encumbrance, your non-encumbrances next.
Yes, refresh me on what does that mean again?
Okay, so this is oh, June, would you like to go over this with him or with FinCom just to explain? I'll just put it right here.
Okay, this is pretty much an encumbrance list. So this means that if you have a bill that is outstanding for fiscal year 2020, and you haven't yet paid it, you can hold money over into the new fiscal year.
And if we have no intention of paying it, we just let it go?
Nope, then we go down to the bottom. Can you move it
Oh,
up a
I'm
little
sorry.
bit?
Yes. Right there, right
So we're
here.
gonna sign down on the bottom where it says all expenses incurred in June have been paid.
So
Okay,
you're certifying that you have no outstanding invoices.
And I can close out the amount that's in your account.
I'm sorry, so what are we doing now?
so is this what that ledger goes with? That's the next page?
It is. Yeah, it is. So this, oh, can I rotate this? How do I rotate this? Well, all right. So if you can look sideways, oh, that's actually the reserve fund transfers. So this is actually showing you what your balance is in the reserve fund, which is $59,935.
Right, less the 100 and less the 50.
Less 120 that we just spent.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right. So, and you don't have any additional requests. Today is the drop dead deadline for those. So you
Right.
have no additional requests. So there you have it. And then you have to do another one for the, I'm sorry, let me scroll back up. Another one for FinCom expenses, which
Yeah,
you have
that's
an
the
ending.
lowest.
Ending balance of $115 in FY20 with
So we
no
paid-
outstanding invoices.
So we paid the dues, but we still have money left.
Correct.
That is
'Cause
correct.
because we didn't do anything else. All right, so how do we complete this form for you online, on Zoom? Did it
Pretty much
require-
just that everybody, that you are in agreement that there are no outstanding bills on either of those as of right now.
Okay, can I state that as acting chair, or does that have to
You
come from
can. No, usually it's just one signature on it.
Okay, so I will state that we have no outstanding bills on either of these two accounts.
Yep.
And then do we have to vote? No, just one signature, so it's signed by me?
Yep.
Okay,
So June, do you want me to attach the printed, the S signature on these forms and leave them in your box?
Sure.
The actual, I raided the FinCom committees or FinCom's mailbox today and got these forms.
thank you.
So-
Yeah, I mean,
You
I
can
asked June if we needed to actually
Yeah.
have physical papers and pass them around. She said we just do it at the meeting, so.
Yep.
Folks, for the
Just-
minutes,
I'll
What did we
just
just
put the S
do?
slash at the bottom.
So Mike, for the
Okay.
Yeah.
minutes, it would just be that you as a group are going to close out your fiscal 2020 reserve fund and expenses for the year.
it's all reserve fund or just the FinCom?
The reserve, you just say the finance committee says,
We agreed to close out
Yeah.
the reserve fund for the year?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Is that what you're gonna say? Okay.
yes, because you're pretty much just saying that you don't have any outstanding bills or any outstanding transfers that need to be made.
so it's for reserve fund, Mike, and the finance committee expense.
Yep.
Line item, which we paid our dues out of, and there's still some money left in
Reserve
there.
fund and the finance committee.
It's so much
line item.
work doing it electronically like this.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's easier if you can take notes and then write it later.
Right. Julie, are you impressed with your peek behind the curtain here? I mean, this is really,
Well, I mean, technically you don't have to approve these minutes tonight. You just have to come back next week. That's all.
Yeah, okay, we're
You
approving
really
them
want to do
tonight.
that.
Okay.
we're
Okay.
gonna choose to approve them tonight, Jill.
Okay.
Also gonna make a bold and brash statement to that effect.
All right, now you've got a
Not that,
bill.
not that I don't love you all dearly.
I
just,
know,
you
I know, and you could miss us. You're gonna miss us for a month. You really are.
I'll text you, yeah.
I'm gonna come and stand outside of town hall and wave.
Okay, that's a deal. That's a deal.
Like, yeah, like at the nursing homes, yeah. Yeah.
I walk by
Oh,
most
thanks, Dan.
days.
You're welcome, yeah.
All right, so are you all set with that business item? You ready to move on to your FY21 dues invoice?
Sure,
Yeah, whatever that
Okay.
is.
yeah,
Look at the excitement. They're so excited to spend this money. You go.
yeah. We're
So
giddy.
what are we doing now? We're voting.
This
next
is your
year's bill.
annual
Dues.
invoice.
Our next year's dues that we won't do anything with either, probably. Although Mary did attend, you attended something as a.
Yes,
or
she did.
As a new
Yeah, I
member
did.
for finance, so,
The Division of Local Services has that public finance training class that I took last June, but
Mhm.
I paid it, I just did it as a donation, so we didn't see any cost
right,
associated with my attendance.
well, if and when we get our fifth member, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more, Esquire, maybe we could pass along that information to that person as far as how to perhaps attend something, said thing, so that they can be a little more informed on finance committee.
Yeah, and the other kind of cool thing about
Should
going
they?
there is that your name goes on a list, and I get all this email from the Division of Local Services. So I can learn more things. I can read about tax levies. I can,
Mhm.
it's almost
Yeah.
daily. And in this COVID
Wow.
year, it's been kind of interesting because all the COVID updates are coming through as well.
Sure.
Oh,
So it's kind of nice being on that mailing list. I think as a member of FinCom that you could just ask to be on, they put you on. I don't know, you have to go to the meeting. And
Okay.
some of it, I just look at it, delete it. So there are lots of things that don't interest me at all, but some of it's quite useful.
I wonder, are you, Mary, you're also on the listserv for the Association of Town Finance Committees as well?
No,
Because,
I'm not, Margaret. I don't know about that.
all right, we'll have to find out how you all get on that, because they have some
That'd be
very
useful.
good meetings. They really do. I've been to a few of them, and there are some people that have expertise in various areas that present, and they do a really good job. So I'll try to find
Margaret,
out.
on this dues form, I wonder if when we pay this, if they approve to pay this, I wonder if we could put their email addresses on this. I wonder if we could do that to sign them up.
Yeah. Sure, why not? If you're all willing to do that.
Oh, I can easily delete an email I don't want to look at, sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll do that. And Mary was saying at the last meeting, Mary Arata, was saying that now Finance Committee has a town email. So it's finance@townofberlin.com. Apparently there's a way that you could actually attach all of the members' personal email addresses to that. So when an email comes to finance, it will go to all your email addresses. So maybe that's another route we could take too.
I was going to say that would be a good thing to do as well.
Yeah, I just pulled them up on the internet. It says if you're a finance committee member in Massachusetts, contact this coordinator using the form below or call this phone number. So I think it's quite easy to get yourself affiliated.
Okay. So do you all want to pay this?
Yeah, what did you need a motion for that?
Yes, please.
I move that we pay the dues for fiscal year 21 for the Association of Town Finance Committees in the amount of $160, and I don't know where it comes from.
It's $160?
Yeah, that's what the form says here.
Okay.
From the Finance Committee expense.
From the Finance Committee expense line, thank you.
Yeah, and I think, didn't we reduced our budget amount this year so that we wouldn't have a lot extra, although I think we have more than 160, don't we?
What is this, the Association of Town Finance Committees?
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought we had 175. What, Michael?
It's the Association of Town Finance Committees?
Yes. Correct.
Okay. From the Finance Committee, and this is the AY 21, right?
Annual dues, yeah.
Sorry, FY, I'm still in academia.
Wow.
FY21.
Yeah, it's not AY. In academia, it's AY.
Academic year.
Academic year.
Right. All right, do we have any further discussion on this? Hearing none, roll call vote, Stan, aye.
Mike, aye. Okay, 3-0.
Sold.
All right, so wait a second. Who made the motion? Mary made the motion. Stan, did you second?
No, I'm not sure I'm allowed to. I think you
All right,
seconded.
so I seconded. Okay.
That's what I remember about it.
Okay. Voted to approve 3-0. 3-0. Okay.
What else you got for us, Margaret?
I'm glad you asked. I have good news and not so good news. No. All right. First of all, the River Bridge development has hit the occupancy threshold, the certificate of occupancy threshold, for us to bill them for the first $100,000 mitigation payment that they're going to be paying each year for 5 years. So it's really going to be important. I know you're not meeting next week, but maybe at your next meeting to have a discussion about planning for the use of those funds, so they're not spent before we even get them, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And maybe also talk about the use of free cash guidelines that we talked about before, because soon enough we're going to be seeing our certified free cash for next year, which is probably going to look really healthy because we did not use much of it this year. So just things to think about in the near future. So that's one of the pieces of good news. Another piece is that Dennis reported at our department heads meeting yesterday that he's collected 98% of real estate and personal property. So that's good news. So that's still on track. and 93% of motor vehicle excise. He does have concerns that that's gonna continue to decline a little bit. Another issue that the Finance Committee planned for, we talked about state revenues, especially meals and rooms tax revenues. We got our fourth quarter distributions, and meals tax came in at $4,002, a decrease of $8,452.63, or 68% decrease. And then rooms tax came in at $353.46, a decrease of almost 99% from the third quarter. So we hope that activity in those in rooms and hotel and restaurant sectors improves over the next few quarters. But that was a very significant.
Yeah, Margaret, sorry. What are the percentages? What's the basis for the percentage? Is that Q3 versus Q4 of fiscal 20?
Q4 versus Q3.
It's fiscal 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So very significant drops.
Fortunately, they're not big numbers.
Fortunately, they're not. Right, exactly. But you planned for this, so we'll just keep tracking the projections against the actuals. So the other thing is that our HR consultant, you established that contingency line, and one of the pieces of that contingency line was the equity wage adjustments. Our HR consultant is expected to be providing her draft report on all positions next week. So we'll have a better idea then what positions, if any, lag behind market comps. And I'm here, I'm going to report to you tonight two positions that we know we've got issues with even before the report comes in. First, the Council on Aging Director, where the wages, the hourly rate was approved based on an analysis the HR consultant gave us. This appears to have our COA Director fall in about the median of comps. We don't know for sure yet where the HR consultant is going to put her on a classification and comp plan, but based on the hourly rate she's getting, the additional funds that would be required for her position would be $3,281.65 for the remainder of this fiscal year.
This fiscal year?
Excuse me?
Of the current fiscal year?
Of the FY21, yes. So she's already funded, but based on the increased hourly rate, there would be a shortfall.
For FY21, not
for
yeah. Okay.
Correct. For FY21. And the other position is the Veteran Services Officer. This is much smaller, and I have to say, I take this one. This is on me. He gets paid at minimum wage, and I did not account for the mid-year, the calendar year change in the minimum wage rate. So I did not account for that in the budgeting for his position. I kept it as it was. So the additional funds that would be required for him would be $324.
I'm sorry, which position is that?
Okay. And those are the only two I have. And for everything else,
Veterans Affairs, right?
That's Veteran Services, yeah.
Service.
So for everything else, we'll wait till the HR report comes in and see what that shows.
So Margaret, that initial information you're giving us would mean that we would be looking to add some funds to what we budgeted for fiscal 21 for these.
In those particular lines, yes.
Wouldn't add some, but taking them from the contingency line.
Yeah. Or at least the COA directors from contingency. The other might have to be reserve fund at some point, but yeah, the first one is a wage equity adjustment.
Well, and since they're wages and not other expenses, we probably don't. Typically, what we would do early on in the finance season would be as if there was a reserve fund transfer request at this time, we would usually push it off and see if there's any way that money can be saved throughout the year. But if this is just for labor dollars that we know full well are going to be spent, and we're going to be short, we probably will just act on it earlier rather than later, I would imagine.
Okay. All right. And that's perfectly fine. And it's probably better to bundle them when we get the HR consultant's report and you can actually get the full picture.
Yeah, right. So it's not anything we have to act on in the next quarter, but be aware of it. Yeah.
Right. June, what other good news do we have? What other good news? What other good news?
Fiscal year, annual town meeting went through without a hitch. It was wonderful. How's that?
It was the quickest
Great.
annual town meeting ever.
It was 1 hour on the dot. And that's
It was
only because
wonderful.
Stan burbled on for 10 minutes. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. We would have
I
gotten
have to
done in a
train
lot.
you for next time.
Yeah. Diarrhea.
Richard Hanks, our building commissioner, has reported that people are still pulling permits, so there is
Good.
still activity.
Yep.
Good.
And they've actually started the Highland Common, Highland,
The
what is it?
senior housing.
Street.
The senior housing, yeah, up on Highland Street.
All right.
Yes. Where
You
66.
didn't have to, yeah, you didn't have to tell me that. It is crazy.
Oh,
Oh,
I
sorry.
I've already I engaged with Chief Galvin a couple weeks ago about the construction traffic. So it's gotten better, but Highland Street's that's a village lane. It's a problem.
Is that where you live, Mary?
Well, I'm on Highland Street. I'm at the bottom of the hill. So when
Yeah.
an 18-wheeler comes down loaded with logs that they took out of the,
Yeah.
well, you know, they're coming down at 40 miles an hour. It's 25 when you get into the Carterville Village.
Yep.
I mean, it is dangerous.
So,
But it's significantly abated with his intervention, and
that's good.
so you know, on Friday mornings, there is a group of us that has coffee out across the street from the general store. One of them is always the chief, and Kevin Trongone also joins us. And so the chief steps out of the street and stops trucks coming through. And
I
Kevin,
witnessed that on Friday.
yeah, Kevin takes his vehicle and turns the flashers on while we're standing there. People slow down then.
Yes, they do.
well, Highland has had an issue, what I call the GPS issue, for a while, and I used to know.
The Waze issue, W-A-Z-E.
And ways, yeah. I used to know every vehicle. If I was out mowing my grass, I knew everybody who drove by up until maybe 8 years ago.
Mhm.
And there's a crazy amount of traffic coming up and down that street. It parallels 495. It's like Pleasant Street, same issue.
Yeah.
So we need a plan.
Well, are they still doing work in Bolton? Weren't they doing some sort of road construction up in Bolton, and they were going to wind up?
It was a truck exclusion because they were doing work at the intersection in the center there.
Okay.
I don't know if it's done yet. I think it was traffic light at Aquatic, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, they were working on that. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I'll continue to talk about the situation. You'll hear more of me. How's that? We'll leave it at that.
Okay. Okay.
And it's been really loud too. Evie Duick is of course also in a butter and right up. She's two houses down from one house down from the entrance to that. So that's another issue that I raised was the noise. But I guess at this stage, that they were allowed to work long hours at this stage, from what I'm understanding. But that may change later.
Okay.
And
There's no restriction on building it. I mean, due to COVID, right? I mean, it's really just a function of.
Yep, they're classifying that as essential. So
Yes, they are. They
and
have
as
all
long as
along.
they're meeting the guidelines that they're doing, they can still continue.
Right.
that area up at the top, most of it's not buildable, most of that land. But the part that is where this is going in a cluster sort of fashion.
Right.
And so that section of the town is an old deer run. People hunt up there because deer. So I understand from up at Balance Rock that the deer are so confused they're out in the middle of Highland Street.
Mhm.
So we have animal traffic as well as vehicle traffic.
Yep.
Antelope.
Yeah, it's clear cut. It's like
Not deer, but antelope.
there could be. Actually, I've seen a mountain lion.
Oh, it was an animal traffic.
Animal
Antelope
traffic.
I think you said antelope.
Oh,
The
Where the
deer
deer
and
and
the
the antelope
antelope are
play.
playing.
Put that in the minutes, Michael. We'll talk about the antelope traffic.
Yeah, no, I've put in the minutes, this whole thing is discussed, to be discussed at our next meeting.
yeah, there you go. And this is all recorded, right? See, we used to have
Yes.
a camel. We used to have a camel on Highland Street, and I miss him. He now lives in Rutland. But he would leave his home on Walnut Street because he didn't like it there, I guess, and he'd walk down the tracks to Highland Street.
A camel.
A
Yes.
camel. I'm not. His name is Josh.
Okay. Well, I know we have alpaca on South Street,
Yeah.
and I keep hearing a cow going "moo" from my yard, and I discovered it's on Brighton or Brigham or one of those little streets. that
Brigham.
go off.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's somebody who has a cow there. It backs up to my yard, and
You're in Berlin, and don't you forget
Yeah.
that.
that's right. A right to farm community.
Yeah.
Those are normal noises. You get used to them after a while.
Yeah. I just tried to figure out what it was. I thought it had escaped from the SA farm.
Well, I thought the Rainbows here at the top of Barnes Hill were the last to have cows. I didn't know anyone else actually had cows. Or were
Yeah.
not a lot of cows. I mean,
Someone
Balance
has
Rock.
cow. I don't think it's cows. It's cow.
Yeah.
Do Buddy and Linda even have cows anymore?
No, they don't. No. I mean, they got goats, chickens, other sorts of things, but they're buying milk from another dairy in the area.
Yeah.
They're not. They haven't done milk for a long time.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
He had beef animals. I don't know if he still does. Come to think of it, I'm trying to remember what I've seen up there. I don't know. The other interesting animal I've seen on the deer run was a mountain lion.
Wow.
Have you recently?
That is amazing.
No, it was probably as much as 15 years ago.
Oh,
Because I always used to hike up through there, and I actually didn't know what I was looking at, but I decided it was big enough that I didn't want to take a closer look. And it looked at me and decided that I wasn't interesting. And so
When I
it went on up
was a
the
kid-
hill, and I came home and went on the computer and looked it up, and I said, yeah.
Mountain lion,
I didn't
yeah.
call it a puma, but it was a mountain lion.
yeah.
And I think
Puma, mountain lion, Florida panther. I grew up in South Florida and,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
was chased out of the swamp once by one of those.
So I think it knew it was on a deer run, which is why it wasn't interested in me. Maybe, I don't know. Decided I wasn't as tasty as a deer.
Yeah. Good reason to keep slim and trim and not be puma bait. Yes.
I'm gonna try, but I doubt that you'd see a mountain lion up there these days. I'm gonna guess they're gone, and the owls and everything.
We've got coyotes now for sure.
Oh yeah.
We always had coyotes.
Yeah. I've seen those right outside my house. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Mm.
Okay, as I'm taking
All
this,
right, folks.
I have a key question. Mary A., are you officially a guest at this meeting, or do I ignore that you're here?
Don't ignore Mary. Write her in there. Write her in there, please.
I'm sorry. And do I list, what do I everybody else I've got listed with title. Your title is?
Administrative assistant to the TA. Zoomer extraordinaire.
Zoomer in chief, okay.
Chief Zoomer and bottle washer. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
So before we adjourn, we actually have to approve these minutes.
That is correct.
So if, let's see if am I allowed to share my screen?
Yes, you should be, right?
Yeah, okay, so now I've got to figure out where the minutes are. There they are. Share. All right, you should all be able to see the minutes now.
Oh my
Excellent.
gosh. They look so
Okay.
official.
There she is, Zoomer in chief.
There you go.
Call to order at 7:34. Discussed and voted on the reserve fund transfer of $117.37. Discussed and voted to approve it, and a reserve fund transfer of 57 cents. Agreed to close out reserve fund and finance committee line item for FY 2020. and voted to approve 3-0 paying dues of $160 for FY21 Association of Town Finance Committees from the Finance Committee line item moved by Porter, seconded by Ginsburg. And then we discussed items to be discussed at our next meeting. And you know, we adjourned last time at 8:09. So if we were to adjourn right now, it would still be 8:09.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was gonna say, I think, just as a point of order, should we probably not put anything about adjourn? Because otherwise, if we're adjourned, we can't take a vote on them. Or
Okay. Well, I know the other thing is I can put item 6 is approved minutes of this meeting.
Yep.
yeah, I think, right? Would that make sense, June?
Yes.
That would be wonderful, yes.
I'm going to say this meeting.
And put in parentheses what today's date.
July 15th.
Yeah, I did something wrong there.
Well, that was a quick 8 years, 9 years.
I keep hitting.
18,000 years.
I
Hold
keep
on.
hitting.
Time traveling.
Yeah, let's backspace.
What was that did that song in the year 2055?
In the year. Da, da, da,
Yeah.
da, da, da.
Who was that? That
Still
was a
alive.
one-hit wonder, wasn't it?
There were a bunch of them in the 60s and 70s.
All right, there's your homework for next meeting. Find out who did that song.
Yeah, so the other day somebody asked me about Wild Thing, and I said, the Trogs, of course.
That's the Trogs. I knew that one. All right, so has everyone had a chance to go to look at that? Do we can we vote
Yeah, I think we can vote. I move that we approve the minutes.
for tonight's meeting? Okay.
Tonight's meeting as presented
I
by
approve.
Mike.
Yes, Ginsburg.
Stan, yes.
Okay.
Three yes.
We approve the
Rogolinsky,
minutes.
If we're
Okay.
gonna go last names, Rogolinsky, yes. Okay.
Mhm.
Right there.
All righty. Anything else?
Just,
Oh, we should decide a first meeting for the new year.
right.
Do our folks, do we need to get together in August? And if so, what are, my schedule's a little bit up in the air for August. Other than, I mean, I have a week's vacation in the middle of August, but
Mike, I would just recommend that you would wait and adjourn at 8:15.
Oh, yeah, I will change that.
Okay.
I'm typing here that we set the next meeting date.
Well, unfortunately, as much as we hate to talk about this too, but we're going to start the budget process pretty soon too.
Yes.
We just
And,
finished
I
it.
know.
yeah,
Trust me,
and
I know.
I have hinted to the board about a possible special town meeting in late September, early October, to try to address some of the things that were dropped or deferred from annual town meeting.
yeah. I was just gonna say, so who was it who said a budget process was a 4-letter word? But yeah, thanks a lot, June.
I know, I'm sorry. So enjoy your month off. How's that?
Okay.
Enjoy your day off.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
So, how about the third Wednesday in August?
Yeah, so that would be the Wednesday I'm gone.
Oh, sorry.
But make it the
How
4th.
about the fourth Wednesday in August, which is
Yeah, that would work.
26th? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Gosh, my calendar shows you all meeting all year. Every single Wednesday, all year long.
Don't worry, I told Julie that wasn't legit.
So this would be August 26th.
7:30?
Yep. And I would say we could set the agenda as organizational meeting, elect new chair.
I will post the meeting.
Okay.
So that means you get a whole month and 1 week off, right? That's good.
It is good.
Don't start.
I don't get any time off, so that's
I know, that's not right, June. You
I'm
need to
doing
work on
end of
that.
year now.
You need to work on that.
Yeah, you do.
We're working on it.
So in the year 2025 was given to us by Zager and Evans.
Really? Boy, never even heard of them.
Yep, no, that would, yes,
Who
that-
was it?
Zager and Evans.
Zager and Ebans, two guys.
Huh.
And looks like it was the 60s, 1969, yeah. Yep, there you go.
That's, you know what they always say? If you can remember the 60s, you weren't there.
Or you were
I had
only
to look it
4,
up.
but yeah, anyway.
Okay. Are we okay with these?
All right.
And are we ready to adjourn? We can talk more.
Yeah, I think we approved them, didn't we?
Yeah, we approved them
Yeah,
already.
we did.
Okay.
You need a motion to adjourn, Stan? I'll give you one.
Please do.
Yeah, I move we adjourn, and we don't need a vote, right?
Right, 8:15.
That is correct.